All right. Hey, thanks for coming in for my Huddle session today. Today I'm going to start off with like a continuation of Connect from yesterday, if you will. Right, so the whole thing Connect yesterday was trying to help you have more of your time back doing things smarter, not harder, working more efficiently, more effectively. And part of that had to do with the special stipulations that can help you out, help make your deals better, help keep you from working. First thing I will say is we go to form and add, right? Most people just go here to forms, click forms, and you start searching for your forms, right? We have a packages button. Everybody knows about packages? I hope so. I hope you out there know about packages. Click on packages. You have the C21 Connect Realty packages, and it will have a package for just about every scenario out there. Purchase and sale, FHA, VA, all that stuff, right? There's amendments, there's all kinds of forms in here that are in packages, right? So we're gonna start off with a purchase and sale, and we'll just do cash to make things simple. You can click on that and you can see all of the forms that are in there. Your Connect Title Services disclosure is in all of these packages, all the forms you may need. Closing attorney acting as holder of earnest money, remember that one. If the attorney is holding earnest money, you do want that form in there. I will say Brett made a comment yesterday about cash deals and having the brokerage hold it in cash deals. He was right. Shh, don't say it too loud. I hope Mike doesn't see this, but he was right when it comes to cash deals because the attorney cannot make a decision. So say you have a $100,000 purchase with $20,000 in earnest money, right? You're in due diligence, right? You have 5 days due diligence. We represent the buyer. The buyer terminates within the due diligence period and sends that over to the seller. The seller goes, I'm not signing that. I refuse to sign that. That earnest money is getting interplayed into the courts if the attorney's holding the money. They cannot make a decision. They cannot, they're forbidden, right? So in a cash transaction, yes, have the brokerage hold it because we can make an interpretation. Also in cash transactions, you don't run into problems with finance contingency issues, appraisal contingency issues, all the contingency issues that'll come up, right? So they're pretty straightforward, so you should never have an issue. You miss your due diligence, you're losing your earnest money. That's pretty much the bottom line with cash deals, right? All right, so with cash, yes, have the brokerage. When it's not cash, you need your F510 and F511. Don't forget those. That's just kind of a pointer. But to make it all easy for you, we have created all of these packages. And these were all just updated with the mid-year forms updates. And I think that's why it's showing the little ampersand sign there instead of just showing the ampersand. We'll do conventional here. Click on that. Click on it. All the forms are in there. Next, it adds them, right? I just kind of want to show here, once these all load, I probably shouldn't have loaded them all because that'll just take longer, right? Here, every form in your package that you'll need, sale or lease contingencies, backups, additional signature pages, you have everything you need, right? You don't need to search for anything. All right, we will go your exclusive buyer brokerage, your purchase and sale agreement, right? So everything's in there. We'll go to the purchase and sale and go straight to stipulations, where you can find them. You will see in our packages, we have already pre-printed in here, all parties agree that if the contingencies in this contract, including due diligence, will expire on a weekend or holiday, they automatically get moved to the next day. We left it as the standard language that says 11:59 p.m. Change it. We don't know what each and every one of you are willing to work to, but if you don't want to be working at 10, 11, close to midnight, make that contingency 5 p.m. You'll never be worried about a deadline passing because I hope all of you are up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, one could only hope. I mean, I don't know. Somebody might be up all night creating content and then you slept in a little bit past 4 o'clock, right? So Listing brokers, the co-op agent is more likely to be responsive at that time, understanding that the timeline's in there, right? So you set your schedules, make this a part of your schedule. Make sure you don't do that. Other things, this is the big one that's coming up, and that was just put in there. Buyer hereby requests and seller hereby agrees to pay buyer's broker X dollars. Remember, with that, you must have a buyer brokerage agreement in place specifying what your commission amount is. And if they're not advertising a commission amount, or if after all the rules change, there is no commission amount advertised at all, that's the language that you will use, right? And so we pre-put it into our buyer packages so that you could have that at your hands. Other things that you can add in here, we can add clauses, is how you do this, right? So when we add clauses, Mike was talking about removing the unilateral 8-day extension, right? Whenever you're searching for a special stipulation, just use one word. So unilateral, I didn't spell it properly. You do have to know how to spell. Unilateral, there's the insurance company contingency. Remove 8-day unilateral extension. You don't have to add it, you can just preview it to be able to see what it says. Section B4A is hereby stricken from the contract, and all closing extensions must be mutually agreed upon. Never get stuck with that 8-day again. Add it to your contracts. The question came up yesterday with it that was like, well, if there's financing, my buyer may need it. That's a good way to make sure that the lender knows that we don't have this 8-day that you're used to seeing, and to help push them to get things done ahead of time. If we don't make the closing, lender, I'm gonna make sure that the buyer knows you're responsible. You know, I can't control your job. So there is no 8-day unilateral. Presenting that offer with the 8-day removed from the buy side, does that make your offer stronger to the seller?
Yes.
Right? In a competitive bidding war situation? Oh, we'll remove the 8-day unilateral. Mike talks about the seller per diem for extending the contract as well. Oh, that's another one in here. We'll just search per diem. We won't even search diem. We'll just do the per diem. Per diem for extending the closing, right? Competitive offer situation. Does this tell them that my buyer is not going to extend the close date? If they do, seller, you're going to make more money if we have to? So it makes your offer stronger on the buy side. The sellers will like it, right? If you presented this on an offer to a listing agent and they see it, they're going, hey, you're guaranteeing that you're going to close on time. You're not 8-day extending, you're paying a per diem. So it works both ways, right? On the list side, you should counter back with a per diem and removing the 8-day, because nobody wants to be stuck with their stuff in a truck and get an 8-day unilateral notice, right? So just little points like that. And again, I wanted to just kind of show in this one where to find these, how to find them, right? Use the packages first. We have some pre-printed stuff in the packages, but when you go into special stipulations, whatever that is that you want to do to make your life easier, just start typing, and there's pre-printed ones in there. If there's something that you want to do and you're not sure how to write it, call the broker hotline, right? Have us write it for you. Have us help you with it so that you're not practicing law, and we can make sure it is clean and clear. If for some god-awful reason you decide you want to write your own special stipulations, here's the basis of a special stipulation. Who's doing what, by when, and what happens if they don't do it, right? So who's doing what, by when, and what happens if they don't do it? Yep. So, make sense? All right, that's all I'm going to show for this for now. If y'all have more questions, help desk is here to help you. We can help you with stipulations, anything, just ask. We're here for you, right? Yep. All right, good deal. All right, perfect. Now I'll grab a seat and let y'all question me. Oh, yes. Jasmine and Tracy are used to this. I think Atticus has been in there. Miss Claire? Claire, question.
Well, yes and no. It's more of a request.
A request.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind taking a look in my Remind, because for some reason my packages have gone.
Was that as of last night?
No, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
2 or 3 weeks ago, your packages are gone. All right, if you ever wondered how Help Desk gets into all of your accounts, it's because we have access to all of them.
I bet when
Easy access.
I bet
Like,
they're back. Once he logs in, I bet they're back. But yeah, it wasn't there.
no, it's fine. So when you go to My Transactions, which one of these can I mess in? I'll delete whatever I...
Hedgewood.
Hedgewood?
Yeah.
All right. So forms, packages.
Oh, okay, they're back.
So they are back.
Yeah, they went
Perfect.
away. I don't know.
Christina was updating them, so some of them had disappeared as she was updating all the forms that are in there, because you have to go in, you have to re-add the new form, and then any special stipulations that we had, you have to put back in there all pre-filled in forms, right? So on this one, exclusive seller brokerage engagement agreement is there. So let me go brokerage agreements. Exclusive seller brokerage. I'm going to add a new one here just to kind of make a point here. This stuff will help you at the end of the day. Let's see, this one was added 7/11, so this is the correct one. I'll delete it out of here for you, man. Okay. When you come in here, you'll see it automatically pulls in things that are checked and filled in, Georgia MLS, FMLS, marketing commencement date. We got a whole bunch of stuff in here. It's set up the good old, what I like to call old way of doing things. So this is set up, remember it's 6% and sharing 3%. Well, 6% of the sales price, and over here seller's broker, out of the compensation being paid to seller's broker is how the 3% is being paid. So it looks like the good old way of doing it. Until the laws change or whatever, why not? The laws or the laws of us. Also, we do not practice dual or sub-agency here. So those are pre-checked for you. It'll just make sure that your file is in compliance, if that makes sense. Make it easier if you use the packages. So go ahead and use the packages. Glad the packages are back for you, Ms. Claire. What else we got?
Once the law changes, say we are already under an old broker agreement, is that grandfathered, or how does that?
I don't have an exact answer for you just yet. So all listings will probably need to be updated and remove offers of compensation. I know FMLS allows it. There's a lot of back and forth and discussion, more to come from the brokerage soon. So no comment.
Okay. Should we start using the new forms now, or have they?
The new forms have to be used by the end of July. They were available on July 1st.
Okay.
The old form license expires 30 days after any new form is created.
Okay.
So that's how that works. So like when you go into 2025, you can use 2024 forms through January.
Okay.
Then any new forms need to be on 2025 forms.
Okay. And these are those the new forms?
These are the latest forms. You can always tell at the bottom.
Okay.
Should be 7/1/24.
Okay. Cool. I just got to sell it, so.
A new seller?
Yeah.
Just do your listing agreement, treat it as normal. We most likely won't have to update our listing agreement, but we will have to change how we are advertising compensation, if that makes sense. Other questions? Nothing? Anything? It's a wide open forum. Ms. Jasmine.
So if you have both Georgia and FMLS, so it'll show on FMLS, right? Are you guys gonna decide, like as a brokerage, if we're gonna not?
We will have a policy for you before the law comes into effect.
Oh, okay.
So whether or not you will be allowed to advertise compensation in FMLS, because FMLS is not removing the field, right? It's still going to be an available field in there. So yes, we will have a brokerage-wide stance on it that will become the law of Century 21 Connect Realty. Other questions? Mr. Clyde, you look like you got a question.
Well, for a listener, you can't advertise that you're going to compensate the broker, but you can say, contact me if you have questions about it.
Well, we'll see.
Private, remarks?
I would say there's other language that has been out there that will, I don't even want to speculate. Let me say that. Let me say, there may be some language at the time that we say this is approved language to use in the listing, right? To say, seller is willing to accept all offers of negotiations. That's kind of the big one that's been out there, right? Seller is willing to negotiate any offers of compensation.
There's some agents out there right now as well for certain brokerages that are putting in big capital letters now in their listings, in the private remarks, we will always offer 3%. They're doing that now.
Just so that they know, yeah, that's
Yeah.
the law. The laws haven't changed, so
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about that.
That's it right
That's
now, right?
that'd be us saying, okay, all of you start putting this language in the private remarks of all listings. We're not going to make a blanket statement like that, one way or another. Just for there's always the possibility of litigation, and we have attorneys looking at it, and just debates and all that stuff. So.
I just noticed that there was a few different teams.
Just know that Mike, the brokerage, we will try to do everything humanly possible to not put you at a competitive disadvantage with other realtors, real estate agents in the marketplace.
Oh, yeah, we know.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right? Other questions? I still got 5 minutes. Come on, give me something. Miss Jasmine.
I do have a question. I think we talked about this before, but as far as open houses goes, so we're gonna have to still have them sign like the non-exclusive thing every single person?
For open houses, will they have to sign a non-exclusive buyer brokerage to walk into an open house? No final answer on that yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Will it be an exclusive buyer brokerage agreement or non-exclusive buyer brokerage agreement? I don't know exactly. It could be something as simple as a form that tells them that if you buy this house from me, you're going to pay me 3% commission. That would pretty much cover the lawsuit side of it, right? The settlement side of it, to make sure you're in compliance with the settlement. They are saying that before I enter this house, before you show me this house, you're going to pay me 3% if I buy it with you. Well, I have an agent. Well, this is non-exclusive, and if you have an exclusive, you need to come back with your agent. It's going to stop people with agents from coming into open houses, or should theoretically, right? Because they can't sign an exclusive and a non-exclusive buyer brokerage agreement. So, there's so many questions still on the table with this stuff that as soon as we have an answer, all of you will be the first to know when we make a decision. Just know that. All right?
I've got a quick question.
Mr. Atticus.
Yes, sir. Say in an easy sell situation, a wholesaler comes to the property, they put in an offer with the seller. I present it to the seller. The seller kind of percolates on it for a little while, but I've had a couple situations where the wholesaler has given them the business card and said, call me if you have any questions. And it's kind of like, well, here, I'm the representative. Please.
Call the seller?
Yeah, well, the wholesaler, tries to contact the seller directly. And how do we know that?
Are you using EasySell?
Yes.
None of the EasySell vendors should ever be reaching out to any of our clients' customers directly.
I believe that.
If that happens,
Yes.
alert Mike, alert me right away.
Okay.
All right? If you're going through EasySell.
Okay.
Now, if you're dealing with some other wholesaler from an email that you got, we have no control over that, right? But we do control the vendors that are in EasySell.
Okay.
But if he's got an exclusive listing agreement, surely they're not allowed to do that, right?
It's not an agent.
Oh, cool.
It's a buyer
Yeah.
who has cash, who's trying to subvert, and what we would have to do as a brokerage then is say, okay, we made this home available to this wholesaler, and now we're gonna sue you, Mr. Home Seller, for the commission.
Commission, yeah.
So it gets into yeah.
Madness.
Right, I agree. And really, and there's no liability on only on the seller, but not on the wholesaler.
Correct. There's no liability on a wholesaler in that situation. That's why Easy Sell. Use Easy Sell for it.
We could just, tell them we wouldn't do business with them again, or something, or?
That kind of, so telling a wholesaler that you won't do business with them again is like Mike's analogy yesterday with the collective being able to control a lender,
Okay, gotcha.
if that makes sense. Like the lender, Matt doesn't care if you don't do business. That's not going to impact his life little bit. You know what I mean? It is possible that a wholesaler that does that becomes known for doing that in the marketplace, and you'll end up with multiple agents that won't deal with them. But that's like a long path down the road.
Okay, sounds good.
Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Other questions before I wrap? Now's your chance. Miss Heather Gill, you've been sitting there awful quiet. You're good? Okay, perfect. Well, I'll get you out of this cold, all right?